Last time on Robloxian SASUKE, we kicked off the third tournament. The first 30 competitors dared to attempt the first stage, but the modifications to the course create a roadblock that only one could break through. Now, the biggest wave for competitors have arrived. 40 competitors of varying skills begin their journey today to try and advance onward. Can any of them go all the way and become the first grand champion of Robloxian SASUKE? Hello everyone, my name is Jamie Dorino, and welcome back to Robloxian SASUKE. We're kicking off right where we left off, as by the end of this episode, 70 out of the 100 competitors will have ran the first stage. This first stage has been very unexpected results-wise, as we only have one competitor advancing to the second stage. But today, more of Roblox's best are here to show that they can join Jacuzzi, and one of those competitors that I think can do so is Comet Wave. Comet's standout run came back in 2018 when he reached the quarterfinals round of Robloxian Challenge, when he gained notoriety for completing the warped wall sideways. Since then, his results have fluctuated, but with him nearly beating the first stage in Senshi, and the fact he has trained extensively for this run, there is nothing off the table. Someone else to look out for this tournament is Bowling Ninja. Bowling's dedication to Roblox Ninja over the last 11 years has resulted in him being one of the oldest remaining members of the community. Despite this, he's yet to have seen as stellar results as expected with someone with his legacy. He's had countless first stage fails with limited attempts past that point, with 2 previous attempts at Robloxian SASUKE behind him, with both of them advancing him one obstacle further into the course. Can third time be the charm and give Bowling a spot in the second stage, a place that he is so ever so desired for? Cyrus08 UK's history with Robloxian SASUKE dates back to the first ever tournament where he took home Golden Competitor. After a final stage bid in the second tournament, Cyrus would begin a string of bad luck that he has not broken when he failed the first stage for his first time in Tournament 3. With 2 back-to-back second stage visits in Blue Ninja Warrior, it shows that he is one of the strongest competitors in the community. But will it be enough for his skills elsewhere to finally translate over to a course that he has struggled on so continuously? These 3 and 37 others begin their quest to Kanzenseiha, as always, on the first stage. The first stage consists of 8 obstacles, and every single one so far has been proving to be a problem. The new first obstacle, Boyoishi, has proven to be a tough starting off point, already taking out 8 competitors. The 14 small stones in a maze-like configuration gave many a hard time and shockingly eliminated NES Ninja 5. Whirlpool's reputation from Tournament 2 has carried over once again, with that first transition between cyclones being the crux point of this obstacle. The obstacle eliminated 7 competitors, including Corrupted Warlord, failing to dismount for his second time. The final 2 obstacles of the stage, Tarzan Rope and Tarzan Nabori, prove that no part of this course can be overlooked, as one small mistake sent 2 out of the 3 to make it to this point into the water. So far, only one has been able to complete all the obstacles within the 80-second time limit to advance. Everyone else has been eliminated. Coming up to the starting line right now is a returning competitor from the past 3 tournaments. This is Ali Dard 1. Ali, one of the longest competing competitors in Robloxian SASUKE. This is going to be his 5th time attempting a Robloxian SASUKE course. Competed back in classic Robloxian SASUKE 2 and 3. Both times went down on the story Tatsuki Bay. Ali is yet to find that much success here in Robloxian SASUKE. Went down on only the first obstacle back in Tournament 1, so today he can at least turn out a second best attempt if he is able to beat this brand new first obstacle, Boyoishi. Here it is, the 14 pedestals. He has to make his way through this obstacle here. Now, Ali hasn't seen that much success in Robloxian SASUKE. However, in Senshi, which was also held in 2019, Ali was able to make it all the way to the 3rd obstacle, the second stage, taking home 5th place. So Ali has a lot of skills when the time is right. Hasn't found that time yet here at Robloxian SASUKE, but already through the obstacle and now onto Silk Slider, a little bit of a close call there, was able to find that path to success and is now heading up for a rematch with the 3rd obstacle, Whirlpool. Went down on that second transition there at the end of the obstacle. This first transition still unchanged from last tournament, but just as deadly as before. We've seen many go down here trying to find the path that works for him. Hasn't really found it yet. Really wasting a lot of time here. 35 seconds left on the clock. He finally makes it just barely. But now he's got to make sure that he keeps up this pace right here on this second transition here. This third cyclone really plagued him, but he gets it here and he jumps back on that third cyclone. That's not really going to help him as he goes for the... No, he doesn't go for the dismount. Ali doesn't go for the dismount there. Looks like he was going to go for it. Had his character too far to the side, and when he turned it, just fell right off that platform. And for the third time, Ali Dard won out on the third stage. So close to making it through the third obstacle yet again. Walking up to the starting line right now is Gonzalez, 417. Now, Gon missed out on last tournament, however, he has returned here. In Tournament 1, he failed swinging for it, so has he been able to use the gap between Tournament 1 and Tournament 3 to his advantage? Off onto the course now, waving to the crowd. Here we go, Gon, making his way through the first obstacle, and that is not the return that he was looking for. Looked like he was going to try and skip one of those steps, and you can tell he is not excited by that result also. Definitely a shocking fail from such a strong competitor out on the first stage again. As we're on to our next competitor to run the first stage, this is Schoenlever, better known as Zoo. Now, Zoo ran last tournament, but like many, went down on the transition between the first and second cyclone of Whirlpool. Zoo has been practicing a lot for this return. He has come into this tournament more prepared than ever before to try and make his way back to Whirlpool and even surpass that point, and he's off onto that. Nope, he's not off. He's back on the starting platform, and it looks like he's a little bit confused on where to go. This is your second time here, Zoo. You should know what's going on. Okay, he's finally off that platform and now making his way onto Boyoishi, and this has not been a good pace out of Zoo. Jacozy, the only person who has cleared the first stage so far, cleared with less than 5 seconds remaining, so Zoo already wasted about 25 seconds as he's just through the first obstacle. Needs to pick up the pace if he stands even a sliver of a chance to get himself through the first stage, but first off, he's got a Silk Slider in front of him. Go for that dismount. Nice job, and there we go. Looking like he's gonna pick up the pace there. Got a great dismount, and now here we go. Zoo versus Whirlpool for the second tournament in a row. Got that mount there. Just gotta navigate his way through the obstacle. Does not get that. Zoo went for that transition, could not stay on it, and despite a worse result, it shows that he can consistently make it to this point. Javier Dlamini is a newcomer here at Robloxian SASUKE, looking to have a great first impression on this course. Going for the mount, doesn't stick it, misses the jump from the starting platform to the first stone of Boyoishi. He's excited. Pingaroo back for her second attempt at Robloxian SASUKE. Went down on the Silk Slider in Tournament 1, and just like Gon, missed Tournament 2, so how will her practice pay off? It will not. Goes down on the first obstacle just like he did earlier. Captain Boys Hinningham is back for his third attempt at Robloxian SASUKE, steadily improving with each result. Failed the first obstacle in Tournament 1, failed the second obstacle in Tournament 2, and failed the third obstacle in Tournament 3, out on that first transition of Whirlpool. The next competitor to run the first stage is someone looking for a personal best run for their entire Roblox Ninja career. For the third time stepping up to the starting line, all she wants is revenge. That competitor is Cubs Rule 37, better known as Audrey. Audrey's determination and success in Robloxian SASUKE have never met up, as shown by her never being able to get through the first obstacle. In the first tournament, she failed the transition from the second to third step on the quintuple steps. With higher expectations and aspirations, Audrey came into the second tournament more determined than ever before. Unfortunately, she would fail the transition from the first to second step on the quintuple steps, producing a worse result than before. Branching out elsewhere and seeing the same results, Audrey has trained more than ever to make this run the best it can possibly be. She knows what she is capable of and just needs a run to prove it. And with the quintuple steps in the past, this is the best shot Audrey has had yet. As you can see there, she failed the first obstacle in Ninja Bloxing Warrior 3, so she is 0-4-3 on any step-based obstacle. This obstacle can technically be considered a step-based obstacle, more of a stone-based obstacle, but it should be accounted for that in the minis, Audrey was able to make it all the way to Whirlpool. So she has those capabilities, just has to execute when the time is right, and that's exactly what she's doing so far. A great pace as she's nearing the end of this obstacle. No, Audrey! Audrey slips off that stone, and that's it! For the third tournament in a row, Audrey will be unable to make it to the Silk Slider, a point that she has dared to go to for so long. She'll have to wait until next tournament. Coming up to the course right now is another competitor who missed out on Tournament 2. This is Crusher Leafy, formerly known as CRGYS 155. Now, Crusher Leafy almost beat the Swinging Force back in Tournament 1, however, he got caught up on the final 2 sets of ropes and ultimately went down then and there. So Crushery looking to have a better result here, but he's got to make it to that point first. But a great technique there on Boyoishi, one of the best attempts that we've seen so far. Going straight forward through it and now straight into Silk Slider. Gotta get the drop with this obstacle first. Stays on and gets that dismount pretty quickly. Now Whirlpool is up next, a lot harder than Quarter Bridge, which he was able to conquer back in Tournament 1. Gotta find the right rhythm on this obstacle. He's got that right there. Now his second transition here is slower than it was in Tournament 2. Never attempted it before, just one jump away from the end of the obstacle, and here we go. Crushery versus Swinging Force once again got that mount onto the obstacle. Now he's slowly making his way towards the end of it. This is the end. This is the crux point for him. I cannot imagine the amount of nerves that he's feeling right here. Going for that dismount, a little bit caught up there. Going for the swing, barely gets it. Crusher Leafy onto Soritatsukabe, going up it, and he gets up in one. He has 30 seconds left. He is in the window of opportunity to clear. Just maintain that composure, Crushery. That's exactly what he's doing. Alright, Tarzan rope is up next. Don't lose your grip on this rope, and that's exactly what he's done. Climbing up to top of this rope. Come on, you got this, Crushery. 16 seconds left. Oh, he slips. Oh, he stays on. Crushery, what a save. Get to the top of that rope, and he's done it. Crusher Leafy, an amazing run, and we are going to be seeing him in the second stage. A great comeback tournament indeed. Missed Tournament 2, came back for Tournament 3 with a vengeance, and that is what he did. Great technique on Silk Slider and Whirlpool. Got himself through that, but the real star of the show is on Swinging Forest. Had a bad reaction to that middle rope, decided to transfer over to the rope on the right side of the obstacle, swung and was able to make it through. And by that point, it was smooth sailing for Crushery up until the end of this obstacle, where he fell off of it but somehow was able to stay on and climb to the top with 10.1 seconds remaining. And that is enough for Crusher Leafy to punch his tickets into the second stage for the first time. 2 clears on the first stage. Our momentum is finally here. Walking up to the starting line right now is Cofin, 39-13, wearing number 39 in the run order. Last tournament, Cofin was one of the many competitors who went down on the first stage, failing the dismount of a Silk Slider. Cofin's been putting in a lot of training this tournament to make sure that he does not suffer the same fate. Looking like he might have put in too much training because he's really taking some time there on the starting line. Looks like nerves are definitely going to be affecting him in some way during this run. Yeah, taking a lot of time there to line up for that jump onto the second stone. Even with Crushery being able to clear over the klaxon, this is not a sign that you can take your precious time on this course. Cofin, I guess, didn't really understand the memo. Nearing 50 seconds left on the clock because he's just mere 3 jumps into the obstacle. Finally, there onto his 4th stone. Just need to keep making his way through this obstacle. Nearing the halfway point time-wise. He's not even halfway through the obstacle. This is not looking good to even make it to the Silk Slider. He might even time up, and this is kind of paralleling to Golden's run earlier. However, unlike Golden, he's actually trying to make his way through the obstacle. Unlike Golden, who kind of just gave up and accepted his fate. And he's choosing a different path now on Boyoishi. Guess he didn't really like that path, but that's going to continue to waste his time. Just a few more jumps, really taking his precious time to line these up. Does not want to ruin this potential clear. And he gets through Boyoishi with 9 seconds left. Cofin, he's not going to be making his way through this obstacle as he hesitates there on the start line of Silk Slider. And that is it. Cofin out on Silk Slider as he takes a dive into the water. So a celebratory dive maybe, but no, regardless, Cofin for the second tournament row is out on Silk Slider a lot sooner than before. The next competitor to run the first stage is Mr. Sunnyside Splash. Sunnyside Splash, the notable Halo jumper, is back here for his second tournament on Robloxian SASUKE. Last tournament underperformed, went down on Whirlpool, but Sunnyside Splash has a lot of desires to do even better this tournament, and it looks like that's being shown right off the bat. Sunnyside Splash, great technique there on Boyoishi, took less than 10 seconds compared to Cofin's 70 seconds. But Mr. Sunnyside Splash, get that dismount there, whoa! Thought he went down there, gets saved miraculously But now here we go. His nerves must be spiking right now. Mr. Sunnyside Splash making his way through that first transition, through that second transition, and here we go, Mr. Sunnyside Splash. Swinging Forest is all that's left for him to face now, heading onto the mount of this obstacle. Gonna be a hard mount, a lot harder than it was last tournament. Get that jump onto it, and there we go. Mr. Sunnyside Splash, here we go, getting his way through these ropes nicely. 35 seconds left on the clock. Now it's just the dismount that awaits, going for a little too early. No, Sunnyside Splash didn't generate enough swing to make it to that point. But that was so unfortunate. But this was a run to look out for, especially on Silk Slider. Touched the stun a little bit, got stunned, but his path of momentum was already so far forward that he was naturally able to get himself out of harm's way and keep going. But on Swinging Forest, you could tell that nerves were high, just did not generate enough swing, barely whiffed that platform, and that was enough for Sunny to not fully cling onto that dismount platform to get himself through the obstacle, which is incredibly unfortunate, but this shows that Sunnyside Splash is capable of great things. Roblox Polish player 4 looking to revenge on his tragic quintuple steps failure from the previous tournament, making his way through the first obstacle and now onto Whirlpool. Gotta get this first transition, rushes it. Roblox Polish player out on the first stage yet again. One of Comet Wave's best runs so far, already through the third obstacle just barely. But now making his way over to Swinging Forest. This was one of the obstacles he was worried about. Got that first swing. No, he doesn't. Got the swing, could not connect to that second set of ropes. Comet Wave out right there. Game is out, fan 1, 2, 3 has had fears about Silk Slider. Oh, he gets stunned but stays on the platform. Gotta reconnect with that Silk, doesn't reconnect. Game slips off the platform, just walks off of it, somehow misses the Silk. It's Vix has not had that much success, and Robloxian SASUKE went down on the first obstacle in both the first and second tournament. With a brand new obstacle that's even harder, Vix doesn't get a better result. Barely landed on that stone, looks like he had it for a second, whiffed off of it before he could jump. Blaze Powder went down on the first obstacle last tournament, got his revenge here, and now he's heading into Whirlpool. Just to dismount, this obstacle awaits for him. Gotta time it here, looking like, no, he doesn't. Why does he go too early, Blaze? Looked like he was overestimating that jump, jumped way too early. NHL Boy 09 went down on Silk Slider back in tournament 1. Gotta make to that point first with a slow pace on Boyoishi. Just a few stones remains, but he cannot make his way through that obstacle out then and there. 46 runs and 2 clears. We are almost halfway through our competitor field, with number 47 being Void_1X, better known as Jurn. Now, Jurn has a lot of nerves for this obstacle, specifically about Whirlpool. It has been specifically deadly this tournament as well, but a great pace here on Boyoishi so far. Would not know that he'd be nervous for this run. Now on to Silk Slider. 68 seconds left on the clock, surviving that drop, and gotta get that dismount. That's exactly what Jurn has done, and now onto the third obstacle, Whirlpool. He does not think that he is making his way through this obstacle, but he's had a pretty good pace on this obstacle so far. Already onto that second cyclone. Those nerves were pretty much non-realistic, as he's already through the obstacle right then and there. Here we go. Swinging Force is up next for Jurn, going straight into that mountain. He's got it. Making his way through these ropes pretty quickly. Great navigation. Going for that dismount instantly. 36 seconds left on the clock. Very good pace here as he's going straight up the Soritas Cabane. One attempt. This has been a great run from Jurn, and he does not stop going on to Tarzan rope. Position yourself well on this obstacle. He does not. Jurn so close to the end of the first stage, but that mistake is all it takes to send him into the water at the end of Tarzan rope. If we look back at his run, he does do the angle strategy like a lot of people have. However, unlike them, Jurn did not angle himself enough to make his way and stay on the rope. As you can see, while he did angle himself, he angled himself in such a way so that when the wall collided with the rope, he collided with the rope as well, and that caused him to fling slightly to the side, eventually losing his stability on that rope. And as a result, he's not able to stay on it and cannot climb his way to the top of that, and that leaves him out, and you can tell he's not happy about this result. On the starting line right now is Open the Norris 25, donning number 48 in the run order. Another newcomer on this course, and he's truly showing off what you can or can't do when the Roblox catalog does not offer you Robux. Onto the course right now, the timer has started. Looks like he was a little bit confused on when to go. Got that starting sign, got that starting cue now as he's making his way onto this obstacle. A little bit of a slow approach, however, whatever gets yourself through this obstacle is what counts, and that's exactly what he's done so far. That first obstacle has been so brutal so far. Open the Norris 25, making his way down to the end of Silk Slider. Great pace off of that obstacle too. Looks like that great dismount has officially given him a lot more of that time back that he lost on the first obstacle. But now Whirlpool is the current obstacle that he has to face. A little bit caught up here on this first transition. Gotta find it right here. That's what he's done. Now the second transition, a lot slower than any other transition that he's had so far. Gotta get it right here, looking like he's gonna go. Oh, he doesn't go for it. Really wasting that time here on this obstacle. 32 seconds are left on the clock. Not even halfway through the course. Gotta go for it here, and he is. But time is not looking good for Open the Norris 25. Gets the wrap through that obstacle. That provides him a lot of safety, but does not provide him with that much time security onto swinging forwards. Open the Norris 25. Got that first transition. Got that second transition. Got these great transitions. Barely lands onto that. And now the klaxon sounds and he drops. Made his way onto that final set of ropes, but ultimately lost his grip. He had been hanging for a long time, and you could tell that he is proud of his results. He said that he had fun, and that's what matters on this course. Better luck next time. Up next to run the first stage is someone who has already made a name for themselves elsewhere and is now looking to extend that notoriety into Robloxian SASUKE. The dude who does YT2, better known as Researcher Space Token, has been steadily improving in Roblox Ninja over the years, with him having second stage visits in Yasuke, Rising Ninja Warrior, Sasuke Dynamite, and others. Researcher wants to add Robloxian SASUKE to that list as well, and also reach a point that he has never gone before, the third stage. However, he needs to get to that point first, and with this being his newcomer debut, he is going to need to fight an uphill battle to get to that point. In the most recent tournament that he ran, where he got to the second stage, he failed only one obstacle away from that third stage buzzer, went down on the fourth obstacle of that second stage. So Researcher has the skill to back him up now as he begins the course here. Going front facing on Boyoishi, but it looks like it's going to be working out for him. 6 seconds down the drain as he's through one obstacle, now coming up to the Silk Slider. With the competitors as his first time, you would not expect as fearless of a strategy as Researcher has been showing, but he's already through 2 obstacles, 1/4 of the course done, going straight into Whirlpool. Opting not to region and just going to go with the fates here with the timing. Looking like he's got a good time here, making his way onto that final cyclone here. Got a good rhythm. Go for that one right here. Now just the dismount of this obstacle awaits, going for it here. Doesn't go for the wrap, gets a little bit of a stun there on his way off the obstacle, but still able to make his way through the obstacle. 38 seconds left, going into Swinging Forest, struggling a bit with building momentum up on these ropes, but still able to make his way towards the end of it, looking like he's going to be stopping there. Now to the dismounts, all that's left, the big push, and he gets that too. Sorry, Tatsukabe, obstacle 5 is what's next in front of him, gets up and won. The researcher, the dude who does YT2, Researcher Space Token, making his way to Defying Gravity, really lining up here, but he makes it work. And Researcher Space Token, 2 obstacles left as the klaxon begins to sound. He is going to need to bolt up Tarzan Abori. This rope is a lot longer than the path, and he stumbles. Researcher is climbing, he is flying, and he has been able to make it to the top. 3.7 seconds left on the clock. Researcher Space Token, 3.7, number 3 on the clear list. He has been able to make it through in a great run to back it up. Despite a little bit of a wonky dismount there on Whirlpool, Researcher was able to back up this performance with a great dismount off of Whirlpool, and despite his sketchy performance on Defying Gravity, continued to pave his way towards the end of the course with a stellar performance of Tarzan Abori that ultimately ensured his path into the second stage with 3.7 seconds left remaining. There was a good chance if he didn't do that, there was a good chance he was going to time up. But thankfully, number 49, Researcher Space Token, does not time up, and he is going to be advancing to the second stage, and you can tell he's very excited about that. We'll see him then. Wearing number 50 this tournament is DJ Dilly, better known as The Boat. DJ Dilly, well-renowned in the Roblox Ninja community. However, in this competition, he has not had the best success that we've seen in a lot of other competitions. Went down on the first obstacle back in Tournament 1, looking like he's not going to have a repeat performance here or last tournament. Last tournament went down on Whirlpool, looking like he's going to want a better result this tournament, but he's got to make his way to that point first. Good job there on Silk Slider, but now Whirlpool, that first transition plagued so many, and he was one of them. So timing of the essence on this obstacle, a great wrap around all these pedestals, going for it. No, he's not going for it yet. Trying to find that right opening, and he's found it now. Half the time limit is approaching. Almost 40 seconds are left on the clock. Gotta get himself off this obstacle now. Not going for it here, and he loses that rotation right there, and that's only going to continue to eat the time up that he has left. 30 seconds left, going back there on that final cyclone. Again, not helping his time whatsoever, but he gets the dismount. And now swinging for his uncharted territory, doesn't get the mount. DJ Dilly, best result that he's had so far. Did not jump out enough for him to get onto that first set of ropes, barely whiffed it. But hopefully next time, DJ Dilly, fourth time may just be the charm for him. Football Fan 0506 is one of those competitors that you cannot count out in Roblox Ninja. Already through the Silk Slider, which he failed last tournament, but this time out on the mount of Whirlpool, and that's a pretty shocking fail from Football. Bully Ninja, one of those competitors that you see in almost every Ninja competition. Already onto the final cyclone of Whirlpool. Got the dismount left, he gets it! No, he doesn't get it! Thought he had it! Once again, out on Whirlpool, this time even closer to the end. 38 Cam failed this obstacle last tournament, went down on the dismount, but this time has no problems with it and is now back to the swinging force. Failed this in tournament 1, this mount so much harder, but he's got it here. Now gotta get this first push off the rope, too much push, and 38 Cam, too much push on the rope, out on Swinging Forest. Kazim went down on quintuple steps last tournament, looking to have a better result this tournament, and that's exactly what he's done. Trying to get an even better result here, get that no, he doesn't get the dismount. Had it for a second, touches that stun, and that's enough to send him into the water, out on Silk Slider. XNNW Fan 8, number 55 to run the first stage of this tournament. XN, the host of Sasuke Roblox Warrior, has not seen that much success here on Robloxian Sasuke. His best run came back in Tournament 1. Last tournament, unfortunately, could not make it back to that point when he shockingly failed the Silk Slide, which is a fail that I don't even think he expected. So XN looking like he wants to have a better result here. Already halfway through the Boyorishi, making his way towards the end of this obstacle. A little bit closer towards the end of the obstacle, but still, he's able to get through, but now Silk Slider. This obstacle went down, he went down on the dismount here. Gotta find the sweet spot. No, he doesn't! He had it for a second! XNNW Fan 8, a little bit too late off of that dismount platform, and that's all it's going to take for him to go from a safe position on Silk Slider to in the water, out there yet again. The next competitor on the first stage, the Piplup Ninja, has a very unique history with Robloxian Sasuke. In all 3 of the classic tournaments, he went down on the first obstacle, the floating steps. There's been a 5-year gap between classic Robloxian Sasuke 3 and the current Robloxian Sasuke 3. So hopefully that will be enough for the Piplup Ninja to get his revenge on this obstacle, and that's exactly what he has done here. The Piplup Ninja, uncharted territory through Boyorishi. Silk Slider's the next obstacle for him to face. Got that dismount a little bit too low. Whoa, what? The Piplup Ninja slides off the front of the obstacle and then just flies off of that. Lands in the water, gets stunned, then jumps and then gets stunned again. And that causes him to ricochet off of there and just fly off of that and go onto that snow. And the Piplup Ninja, a unique fail from him. And now he's out.
So, I might go the second, third obstacle because in practice I haven't been doing well on those. But whenever I maybe practice them a little bit more, I'll probably conquer it. But it depends, really. I think it will be fine as long as I pass the second or third obstacle, and then I'll be able to clear.
Gabe, the developer, has a lot of concerns for this course, specifically Silk Slider and Whirlpool, but other than that, they think that once they could beat those, they are going to clear. Now, that fear in Silk Slider is very warranted, considering that they went down there back in Tournament 1. Like a lot of people, they took Tournament 2 off, but now they are back here, ready for Tournament 3, and here we go. Boyorishi did not have many concerns with this, so it's going to be a breeze to get through. Oh, it is not going to be a breeze to get through, and you can tell they did not expect that either. Wow, Gabe, the developer. Following that run up is Wooper290. Now Wooper, he's had a lot of expectations going into this tournament. Very excited to get a run, and this will be his first attempt of probably many here on Robloxian SASUKE. Gonna try and avoid making the same mistake as Gabe did run just one run prior, as they're now onto the course. Boyorishi got a forward-facing strategy. It looks like it's gonna be paying off for him so far as he makes his way towards the end of the obstacle and is now approaching Silk Slider. Gotta survive this drop first. Hasn't taken out anyone else, but it's this dismount that's been a problem. Not for Wooper290, now heading up to Whirlpool. For a lot of the newcomers, this has been one of the hardest obstacles, but it looks like he's got a great cycle so far, truly maximizing the jumps he can get on here, and he gets a great transition there into the second cyclone. On a great path here to make that transition from the second to third, just has to make sure that he doesn't make a silly mistake, and that's exactly what he has not done here on the dismount. Can he make it? He does a wraparound, smart move, and now onto Swinging Forest with a lot of time left. Just make sure that you keep your composure up. Oh no! Wooper290 had that mount for a split second. Looks like got onto it sideways, tried to readjust his camera to be facing forward, and then just slipped off. And this sends Wooper into the water for the first time. Walking up to the starting line is Andrico23, who has an interesting streak in Roblox Ninja courses. Eels has always been a skilled competitor, but has a very repetitive curse of failing the final obstacle. If you name a competition, then there is a good chance that he has failed one obstacle short of the second stage. This pattern has existed in Deuce Warrior, Blue Ninja Warrior, Steel Castle, Rise Ninja Warrior, Sasuke Dynamite, and that's just the competitions that are filmed. However, Eels has also found a new foe in the Swinging Forest. First failing an obstacle with the Swinging Forest elements in it in Sasuke Dynamite's 7th tournament before going on to downright fail it in Robloxian Sasuke's 2nd tournament. So Eels 0 for 2 on the Swinging Forest, and he's also gonna have struggles even making it to that point, with him failing the first obstacle back in Tournament 1. So Andrico23, the odds are not in his favor for this run, with the first obstacle being harder than quintuple steps ever was. Honestly, he's gonna have a tough point making his way through it, but he's making his way through this one quickly. A fast pace from Eels. Through one obstacle, 7 more to go from that first stage buzzer. Now two more away from Swinging Forest. He's able to get himself off this. Thought he was gonna get stunned there off his Silk Slider, but somehow doesn't get stunned. And now making his way onto Whirlpool. A great strategy, going straight into that second cyclone. Good job, Eels. Now heading up to the third cyclone, second transition. Got that. Dismounts all that's left. Can't underestimate it. Doesn't underestimate it. Does the wrap. Now Eels, here we go. Third time on a Swinging Forest obstacle. Got the mount onto it. Great technique, pushing his way through it. Looks like he's truly mastered the technique on this obstacle. One more swing, taking a lot of swing there, but he makes it through. Eels, uncharted territory. 3 obstacles left. Now it's just 3. Making his way onto this Defying Gravity. Very low grab there on that second wall, but he's able to keep going. Eels out at the end of the first stage. Speed kills. Doesn't look like he took enough time to align himself there on that rope, and ultimately that's what causes him to fly off to the side like so many others have in the past. And Eels is gonna have to wait for his first ever second stage visit in Robloxian SASUKE. But this adds another statistics to Eels' run, so close to the end of the first stage yet again. Coming up to the course now is the return of Badge Rex, formerly known as Emolga Rex, formerly known as Bill V Rex, also formerly known as Bill X Ben. Bill, Emolga, Badge Rex, whatever you want to call him, has been one of those competitors that has been here for a really long time in Roblox Ninja. His first run dates back to 2016, so he has the history to back him up on this course. Last tournament did not perform the best, almost was able to beat Whirlpool, but a silly mistake there on that transition to the final cyclone just made him slip off and fall into the water. But Badge Rex, a great technique there on Boyorishi. Gonna have a chance to get to Whirlpool if he beats this obstacle. Silk Slider gets on the no! Badge Rex had it for a second. Looks like a sense of panic caused them to dip a little bit past that black line, indicating where the stun begins, and that ultimately sends Badrex into the water on the first stage for a second time. We'll not be getting that rematch with the Whirlpool today.
I have been on a downtrend lately. I failed stage 1 in like most of the comps ever since 2023, I think, because I've been focusing so much on my school and studies and everything. But obviously I'm trying to do well in everything, but obviously you can't do that because mistakes are meant to be made. And as you see from my tournament 1 run, I failed that what's called swinging forest, and that's probably my biggest concern this tournament. But overall, I think despite not having much time to practice, I think I've put in enough that I can say at least I have a chance at beating stage 1 this tournament, and I'm excited how this tournament's going to unfold.
So Craft Battle Duty doesn't have a lot of confidence going into this run, but he does think that he is capable of becoming the 4th competitor to make it through to the 2nd stage, and there is Researcher Space Token. He was the 3rd to make it through, and if we look back at Tournament 1, the last tournament Craft competed in, he was able to make it to Swinging Forest and just ultimately lost his grip on that 2nd set of ropes. So Craft, in the over a year that he spent away from this course and Roblox Ninja in general, has he been able to improve his results to make sure that he is not rusty, because a long break from Roblox Ninja has plagued a lot of competitors. Looks like it's not going to be plaguing Craft so far. A beautiful technique right there on Boyoishi. Now going on to Silk Slider. This obstacle was a menace in Tournament 1, a little bit less now in Tournament 3, but he's able to get through it here, and now Whirlpool, much harder than the quarter bridge he faced all the way back in Tournament 1, but a great strategy, going straight in that second transition. 55 seconds left on the clock. Oh, wow! He just jumped straight into that 3rd cyclone. Incredibly risky to do that, but he gets through it, and now here we go. Craft Battle Duty for the 2nd time. Onto Swinging Forest. Gotta get this first swing. Got his revenge so far. Now keep going. Now this is the ascending part. Much different than it was in Tournament 1. Now the dismount a little bit panicked there. He gets it. 34 seconds, and he has a chance to make it if he gets up Soritatsuki Bay. Might be able, no, he doesn't get it up there on 1 try. Going for attempt number 2, jumping up, and he gets it on 2 attempts. He is in the window of opportunity to become the 4th person to clear. Just don't mess up here on Defying Gravity. Gets the grab a little bit high, and now Tarzan Rope is the next obstacle that stands between him. He gets it just barely. Looks like he was about to fall off there, but he stays on. Just climb up Tarzan Nabori. Here we go. There's the buzzer right there. Makes the top, and that is exactly what Craft has done to hit the buzzer and become the 4th competitor to get through to the 2nd stage. Revenge has happened, and his revenge tour will continue into the 2nd stage on Whirlpool. This was truly the standout moment for his run. He just goes straight in that 3rd cyclone, and that gives him that saves him a lot of time and on Swinging Forest. He gets his revenge there. He stays on the obstacle, and despite a little bit of a panicky dismount, he's able to get through that, and ultimately it was a smooth sailing towards the end of the 1st stage. And there's Researcher celebrating, cheering him on. We are going to be seeing both of them in the 2nd stage later. I cannot imagine what he's thinking right now. Let's go speak to him on the sidelines. Craft, first off, congratulations on clearing the 1st stage. You did miss last tournament, but in the 1st tournament, you did fail the Swinging Forest. Obviously, with that being back this tournament and beating it, how do you feel?
Honestly, I have no words. I mean, I said in my interview as well, the Swinging Forest is probably the one obstacle I could fail, and you probably don't notice it, but my legs were shaking so hard to the point where my mouse was literally shaking that my screen was uncontrollably shivering and stuff. But I pulled through, and it's my first clear on some sort of rather major comp in 2 years since I've just said that since summer of 2022, and I'm just trying to soak this moment completely in.
Up next on the course is Gojira2222. Gojira is one of the most underrated competitors in Roblox Ninja, and he can perform really well when the time is right, as shown by last tournament where he failed Swinging Forest. Now, just like Craft, he failed Swinging Forest on his 1st appearance, but Craft was able to clear on his 2nd. So Gojira has history on his side as he's swiftly through Boyoishi and now heading up to Silk Slider. Got the grab onto this obstacle, 56 seconds left on the clock, going for that dismount. Oh, that was a close one there. Any lower, and he definitely would have been stunned, but Gojira stays alive, and now onto Whirlpool. Was able to beat this obstacle with a little bit of trouble last tournament. Gotta find that rhythm here on this 1st transition. Oh, he doesn't find that rhythm. Gojira jumped a little bit too late on that transition, and I did not see this coming from Gojira. Looks like, yeah, just a little bit too late there on that transition. Maybe if he went a second sooner, he would have been able to made it past that and continue to excel past this obstacle in the swinging forest, but unfortunately, he does not.
Hi, I'm Salt King, host of Salt Sasuke, and your future 1.1 fail.
Oko, time to win, doesn't think that he's gonna get through this obstacle, but so far he has a great technique on it. Making his way towards these final 2 stones, and there we go. His fears were realized right there, so close.
I've returned just to make it beat stage 1, and I could be here. I'm ready.
Rexpace has high hopes for this tournament, and he is making his newcomer debut look good so far. Nearing the end of Boyuishi, coming up with his final 2 stones. Can I make it there? And his high hopes for this tournament have unfortunately diminished. Sunnyside beats Boyuishi, one of the obstacles that he was concerned about now coming up on Silk Slider. Was able to beat this last time, doesn't have the same success as the last time. Sunnyside goes out on the dismount, just overshooting it right there. The host of Steel Castle, Stop It Soon, formerly known as Fragile as Agile, is back on Robloxian SASUKE. He's been picking up steam in a lot of Roblox Ninja competitions, but also been picking up steam in real life with the World Ninja League. He was able to make it to the 2nd stage of the World Championship that year. So Stop It Soon, Bo, whatever you want to call him, has had a lot of success in every single region of Ninja that you can pretty much have. He's also been able to do good in Halo competitions as well, since they've been able to allow computer players to play. Here is the obstacle that he did fail last tournament. He does not want to fail a second obstacle again, and that's exactly what he doesn't do this tournament. 20 seconds are gone, 2 obstacles gone, 6 more left for him to face. He's now onto Whirlpool, looking like he's a little bit nervous about this obstacle, taking some time to size up that mount before he goes onto it. Looking like he's also pretty bit uncomfortable there, barely grabs that second cyclone, but he's able to stay composed and now making his way over to that final cyclone. A lot smoother of a transition there between the second and third than the first and second. Going for that dismount and another smooth transition, now on a swinging forest. This is one of the obstacles that he was afraid of. It's a lot different than a lot of obstacles that you see in a lot of Roblox Ninja competitions, but he's making his way through the obstacle nicely. Now just the dismount of this obstacle is all that's left for Bo. Gets that dismount. Sorry, Tatsukabe, one of the hardest obstacles on this course because it's very chokeable, but he's able to get through it. Defying Gravity's up next. Stop It Soon. Bo, the first victim of Defying Gravity, just could not connect to that second one, and that's unfortunate. Had a great mount into that obstacle and an even better jump off of that first wall, but that second wall could not connect with. When he jumped, he collided with the blocker at the top of it, ultimately stopping any speed, momentum, and distance that he had. And by that point, he just could not clip onto that bottom of that second wall. If he veered a little bit to the right, there was a chance that he could have made it, but Stop It Soon's road ends here on Defying Gravity. As we're on to the next competitor to run the first stage, number 67, SkyKid 0520. We haven't seen much of SkyKid in Roblox Ninja, so we truly don't know what to expect from SkyKid on this run. But he's shaking pretty rapidly there on the starting line, so there's a good chance that nerves will be affecting him on this run. A little bit of a slow technique here on Boyuishi, but whatever gets him through the obstacle gets him through. A low grab there towards the end of the obstacle, but he's able to get through Boyuishi nevertheless, now coming up to Silk Slider. This obstacle has been tricky for newcomers and returnees alike, going for that dismount, and SkyKid joins the number of competitors who failed the Silk Slider, jumping over the platform, still couldn't get onto it after failing it, and SkyKid, first appearance here, out on the second obstacle. The next person to run the first stage is the Red Awesome Gamer 6, better known as Jakari. Now, Jakari, one of those competitors that you haven't really seen too much in Roblox Ninja. However, he has a lot of aspirations to make it far on this course, and here we go. Jakari onto the first stage, going a little bit slow on these steps, however, he's executing his strategy pretty well so far. Making his way slowly but surely towards the end of this obstacle, going for one of those top stones. Not seeing many people do that, but he almost misses that last stone there, but still able to get through that obstacle in around 20 seconds. And now Silk Slider is the obstacle he's gonna face, making his way to the dismount a little bit too late, and the stun gets him. Jakari unable to get through Silk Slider on his first appearance. If he dismounted a little bit early, he would have stood a chance to get through, but unfortunately does it too late, hits the stun, and that sends him into the water.
I'm back here on Robloxian SASUKE for technically my 5th appearance. Actually, no, 6th appearance, because I competed in all 3 original OG tournaments. But technically, this is the 3rd appearance, because you don't mix together the OG and the new. But but you can still consider my success on the OG as successful. I'm here today to hopefully get revenge, because last time it did not go well. I dressed up as Yusuke Morimoto, and I did the completely opposite of Yusuke Morimoto, failing the first obstacle. So this time I've come very normally. I have my shirt on, keep calm and achieve total victory. Hopefully that'll give me some motivation to go all the way, and hopefully at least get past the first obstacle. I don't want to completely embarrass myself this time.
Cyrus Wait UK, a competitor that usually has a lot of high expectations, does not have that this tournament. In classic Robloxian SASUKE 2, he was one obstacle away from Kanzenseiha, but in the direct parallel and regular Robloxian SASUKE 2, he just failed one obstacle into the tournament. So Cyrus Wait UK has a lot of aspirations to do a lot better this tournament. So here we go for the third time. Cyrus Wait UK is onto the Robloxian SASUKE course and moving at a very steady pace. He failed the dismount of the first obstacle last tournament, doesn't have the same result this time. Now Silksider is up next for Cyrus to face. Had no problems with this back in tournament 1 when he attempted it. Didn't really start having troubles on any obstacle up until Soritatsuka Bay later in the course. That ultimately led to him timing up on Tarzan Rope after taking about 6 attempts to beat it. Now on Whirlpool, uncharted territory for Cyrus, but he is doing great here. Making his way towards the end of this obstacle. Nice job to Cyrus. Now to this amount of this obstacle is all that's left for him. Does the wrap and gets through the obstacle. Swinging Forest had a bit of a metamorphosis since last time he did it. Taking a little bit of a weird approach going backwards on that mount, but it works to get him through, and now just has to navigate his way through these ropes. Now onto the ascending section of this obstacle. One more transition for him and he's got it. Now it's the dismounts left for him, but he loses his grip. Cyrus unable to make his way to the end of this obstacle. And that mistake is going to take Cyrus out on the first stage for his third tournament in a row. But he's going to keep going, and it's really unfortunate because he's doing really good on this course. Maybe if he was a little bit to the side on that final rope of Swinging Forest, he would have been able to stay on it and continue going. But unfortunately, he does not and falls into the water as he continues to make his way through this course. And yeah, he's at the top of the first stage, and if it wasn't for that short mistake, Cyrus would have been the first person to make it through, but unfortunately, his first trip to the second stage is gonna have to wait. As we're on to the 78th competitor to run the first stage, and he's one of the most skilled in the community. That competitor is Nebula Deception, formerly known as Shadow Miles XE. Shadow has won a multitude of competitions over his multi-year tenure as a member of the Roblox Ninja community, and that has resulted in him regularly being a favorite to win in competitions. This would continue into classic Robloxian SASUKE, where in the third tournament, Shadow would become its first and only grand champion. However, since his Kanzenseiha, Shadow's performances have depleted, with him being unable to get through the first stage, ranging from a second obstacle fail in Robloxian SASUKE 1 to timing out on the Soritatsuka Bay in Robloxian SASUKE 2. So Shadow truly showing that people after Kanzenseiha can still try to perform as they used to, but ultimately can fail just as anywhere, showing the unpredictability of courses. So Shadow, for the third time, is back over Robloxian SASUKE, going quickly through Boyoishi, going sideways, gets himself through that obstacle, and now Silk Slider. 2 tournaments went down here, overshot the dismount. This obstacle's a lot easier to overshoot. You gotta make sure he gets that sweet spot, finds that sweet spot, doesn't even go on the landing platform, just opts to skip it. Now Whirlpool was one of the many competitors who was able to complete it last tournament, going straight into that second transition, very risky, but he's able to pull it off and gets himself onto a great pattern to get himself towards the end of this obstacle. 48 seconds left on the clock, and now heading into Swinging Forest. Gotta go for this mount right here, that's what he's done. Going straight, he almost misses, oh, he misses there! Shadow, with a bit of a botched attempt on Swinging Forest, had the first swing, panics, I guess, on those final 2 transitions there, and that ultimately sends him into the water on the first stage for his third tournament in a row. 40 runs later, and episode 2 of Robloxian SASUKE 3 has come to an end. This episode, while seeing about the same amount of struggle as previously, also had many great runs to parallel those statistics, resulting in many more hitting the buzzer of the first stage. 3 competitors, Crusher Leafy, Researcher Space Token, and Craft Battle Duty 0828 joined Jacuzzi as the few survivors of the first stage, a stage that has taken no prisoners. These brave competitors have completed a course unlike any other they've attempted, and they're only 1/4 of the way to Kanzenseiha. But that desire for victory is strong, and next episode that passion carries on as the first stage finale occurs. The final competitors of the tournament take their stand against the course before closing off with elite competitors such as A Thunderbird, who placed second last tournament, Flodos, the golden competitor of Robloxian SASUKE 1, who was one jump away from the final stage, Robotic Pie, the first competitor to complete Cliffhanger and the only to make it to the third stage multiple times, and yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, the gold medalist of Robloxian SASUKE 2. Those 4 and 26 others next episode. Until then, this is Jamie Dorino signing off. We'll see you next time for Robloxian SASUKE.